We're Dennis and Liz, full-time RVers exploring mainland Mexico in our Class C RV. After spending 2 full months in the Yucatan Peninsula, our road trip continues as we head to Palenque, Chiapas, a new state, where we explore ancient Mayan ruins and visit some epic waterfalls. But first, we have to get there. Well, this is fun. We're getting a ticket. 3rd time today. Can't even handle this. I love when I'm doing work outside, listening to howler monkeys growl. Oh, I really hope we see them.
You wanna know how we can see them? If we go walk through that little freaky jungle pass. I've literally never heard anything that sounds like this before. This is like kind of freaky.
I'll tell you that one now that we're in the forest. Tons of mosquitoes.
Well, that was one thing the iOverlander reviews about this place didn't oversell. If you're headed to Palenque from Campeche City, once you get into Cascada, give yourself plenty of time because it's going to take you a lot longer than Google says it's going to take. I've been doing 40 miles an hour for the last probably 45 minutes trying to dodge giant potholes and just terribly rough pavement.
Chiapas is also one of the poorest states in all of the country, which means that the vigilante tolls are likely on any of the roads here. Many times you'll see groups of people, but especially children, where they kind of create their own blockade or their own personal toll. They use a rope to block it off, kind of demand a toll, a payment. It can be as little as 20 pesos. From what we've heard, a lot of people just say that they slowly continue to drive and the kids end up putting the ropes down. So far, we haven't had that experience yet, but from talking with other travelers who have come this way, it's a common occurrence, so it's definitely something to be aware of. Okay. Well, this is fun. We're getting a ticket.
Liz didn't have her seatbelt on and we got stopped by another state police checkpoint. No? Okay.
No.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias. Disculpe. Sí, lo sé, lo siento. Gracias. He was starting to write the ticket. He checked our licenses and our paperwork and then said
good.
no. That was so nice. He could have easily given us a ticket. It was definitely my fault, but he let us off, just with a warning. We will heed that warning, senor. Gracias.
We're at some federale checkpoint. I don't know if this is like the entrance to Chiapas, but it feels like a border.
Yes, it does.
It feels like a straight up country border.
3rd time today.
Listo? Gracias.
Gracias. All right.
Okay.
Having these like federale stops throughout your travels in Mexico is quite common. It's always a good idea to have all of your paperwork together They do want to see all of the originals, so having photocopies for the actual federales or the National Guard won't cut it. Made it to Mayabel Campground and Villas. This place is gorgeous. It is so picturesque. Dennis calls it Instagrammable, and I have to agree. There are cabanas that you can rent throughout. There's an RV park that actually has electric, water, and dump at each site. And we're about a 4-minute drive from the entrance of Palenque, so we're surrounded by jungle. When we first got here, we heard howler monkeys again having their little conversation or fight, or who knows what they're doing, but it was fun. They also have a restaurant on site. They have wood-fired pizzas, there's Wi-Fi at the restaurant, and there's a pool.
The electricity is still only 20 amp service, although it is wired correctly. We found a site where we could actually get the van level, but we had to park head first, so that means we're gonna have to turn around before we leave to use the dump or the drenaje. But at the end of the day, it's all here, it all works, and it's a beautiful place.
So I think we're just gonna pretty much chill out here for the rest of the evening, and tomorrow we're gonna wake up early so we can venture into Palenque. We made it to Palenque. Yesterday it rained all day, which obviously meant we were not able to come into the archaeological zone. And even though it rained pretty much this morning, there was a little break in the rain and we decided to book it. Luckily, our hotel and where we're staying at the trailer park is only about a 2-minute drive to the entrance where you buy the tickets. And there's a ton of guides that are at the first ticket booth. They were charging really, really high rates for a 1 to 2 hour tour guide in English or in Spanish. Our suggestion is to continue on the main road until you get to the actual entrance to the archaeological zone. And if you are looking for a guide, you can hire one there. We ended up hiring one for about 1,000 pesos, and rates will vary depending on the tour that you're taking as well as the demand. So just keep that in mind if the rates are higher when you come to visit. But we're really excited. This is the 3rd largest archaeological zone for the Mayans. It was a super important city for the Mayan civilization. And I think it'll have a lot of unique things for us to explore. Super impressive.
So the pyramid you see behind me is Templo de las Inscripciones, which means Temple of the Inscriptions. And it has 3 different walls covered with pictograph inscriptions describing something that the king wanted everyone to know.
And next to the temple is the temple of La Reina Rojo, which is the Red Queen. And they believe that there was actually 2 queens here that ruled this entire civilization, which is kind of rare. Before the big guy, or the big king at Las Templa de Inscripciones actually took power, they found a ton of jade jewelry that was buried with her, as well as a mask that covered her face, and there were some sacrificial bodies next to her grave, which means that she definitely held some significant importance for the civilization, which is why they believe it was either his mom or possibly his grandma, since the kings or the queens always kind of followed in a familial lineage.
Palenque was discovered just recently after having been abandoned and covered in jungle for centuries. The city was built next to a river that ran through a series of aqueducts and allowed the civilization to grow to its scale and complexity. In the main palace, archaeologists discovered underground tunnels, bathrooms, drainage systems, and intricate ceremonial patios.
Similar to Calakmul, Palenque would have actually looked very different during its civilization heyday than it does today. That's because in order to make stucco, which all of the pyramids would have been covered with, you had to use a lot of wood. For example, 1 ton of stucco would need 10 tons of trees, among other elements, to be burned down, and then in order to create the stuccos that would make the fresco paintings that would adorn all of these beautiful temples. Which means all of the trees that are surrounding us probably would have been cut down.
The plaza of the temples is home to 3 distinct buildings that were used for ceremonial purposes. archaeologists have discovered several tableaus and murals that give indication for each temple's use, including celebrating and documenting the creation of life, the 3 levels of life, including the level of the gods and the underworld, and a sundial which helped identify when the spring or summer equinoxes had arrived.
No big deal, we're just in the jungle and macaws are flying over ancient pyramids. Absolutely incredible. This is a very impressive archaeological zone. We've been to several throughout all of Mexico now, and every single one continues to surprise us. They're all so beautiful in their own way, and they all have their own importance and significance and history. All of them are worth coming to, but Palenque definitely makes the top of the list. Unfortunately, right now, because of COVID, the hours have changed. Normally, this would be open from 8 to 5 every single day, but right now they are operating from just 10 to 3, which means there's limited time. They also are limiting the capacity, so they'll kick you out, like right now.
Palenque, on the eagle scale of coolness, I'm gonna have to give it 5 eagles. Seeing the map that they've constructed of the overall site and how many structures are actually here and only 2% of it is actually excavated is mind-blowing. There's just as cool pictographs, although right now you can't really get close to them because of COVID restrictions, so you can't climb in the pyramids. You can still see them from down on the ground level, and the price is awesome. It's 80 pesos plus the guide, and if you can find Gato, which I highly recommend doing, we're gonna have his information pop up here and in the description of the video. Highly recommended. His English is very good. He is very knowledgeable. He does tours with National Geographic all the time, so he is well worth the 1,000 pesos you are gonna happily pay him to take you around this place. Totally glad we came. Definitely put this on your bucket list. Today, we're not taking TLC's advice. We're gonna go chasing some waterfalls. RIP Left Eye Lopez.
Let's do this! That drive was incredible. Going through the mountains of Chiapas is beautiful. We chose to come to Roberto Barrio, Cascada, which is a lesser visited waterfall than the very famous Agua Azul waterfalls, which are about an hour drive as well from Palenque. This place is insane. You just keep going down the paths and then there's more and more waterfalls. We finally got to, I think, the main waterfall. There's beautiful areas to swim. You can climb up on the waterfalls. There's like caves to go in. This place is awesome. Barrio, Cascada, 10 out of 10. This was amazing. There's something for everyone. You can just chill out in the sun, laying by one of the cool pools when you get too hot. There's something for adventure seekers. You can jump off waterfalls. There's like a cave you can go in. There's so many different areas that you can lounge and hang out in. Even if there were a lot of people here, which there really weren't, it wouldn't feel overly crowded. And it was only 30 pesos per person to get here. Definitely recommend this. We can't really speak to Agua Azul, but from all of the reviews, everyone always says this is definitely the better choice. I loved today. It was so awesome. Plan to come for the whole day. There is a restaurant and bathroom on site, but if you want to bring your own drinks or food, you can do that. We saw lots of people here with coolers planning to bring their little own snacks and lunch. We're gonna hop on the scooter because we still have an hour ride back, right at sunset. And with the number of topes that were randomly on the roads on this trip, we don't want to be driving at night.
Yeah, the tope game on the way into this town is dangerous.
Looks like you could camp here. We've seen this guy in Mahahual. We also saw him on the road coming to Palenque. And he's camping in Roberto, Barrio, Cascada. We're like kind of lost. So we crossed the river in order to enjoy the beautiful waterfalls. But now we can't figure out how to recross the river to get back to the scooter. We've been at this for a solid 20 minutes. There's not really any signs. We don't know.
We found it, yay!
Yeah. Dennis found it, good job.
Good.
If it was up to me, we would have been sleeping in the woods.
We are packing up and leaving Palenque today. No, I haven't talked about the way we carry the scooter in a few videos, but I just need to give another quick shout out to Mototote because this thing has amazed me at how strong and durable it is. I knew it was gonna be because I did a ton of obsessive compulsive research before I decided to go with the Mototote, and it paid off. We've hit topes doing like 35 miles an hour, and just overall the roads in Mexico, as we all know, are pretty bad. This bike has lived pretty much full time on the Mototote for an entire year, and we've had zero issues.
Before we leave, we had to get one more meal to go. The food at the restaurant here is really affordable, really tasty. I'm pretty sure we ate here the entire 5 nights we stayed for breakfast and dinner. I think there was 1 or 2 nights we didn't. So if you're coming here and you don't want to cook, it's a really good option.
And if you're interested in getting your own Mototote for your adventure travels with your motorcycle, then click the link below because we're gonna get you 12% off your Mototote order, which is a huge savings. But now we're off to San Cristobal de las Casas. If you like this video, please let us know in the comments below. Hit the like button, the subscribe button if you haven't done it already, and ring the little bell, that way you never miss a video drop by us on Mexico Mondays. Hasta luego. How Liz just grabs her phone like that's gonna do something and runs away from me, and then makes me go back to the RV to get all the filming equipment. Somebody's excited. Yerba Santa.
Yerba Santa.
Yerba Santa.
Locally, it's called momo.
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 Fogging up.